In Burkina Faso, a remarkable event unfolded, driven by the collective spirit of its people. Without foreign aid, without grand announcements, and without the world's attention, thousands united to clean their country. This was not a protest or a political campaign, but a simple act of care for their communities. It began with a single request from President Ibrahim Traoré. He did not hold a press conference or launch a sophisticated government program with experts and budgets. Instead, he asked the people of Burkina Faso to take responsibility for their surroundings. Leading by example, he swept streets alongside ordinary citizens in the capital city, Ouagadougou. There were no cameras for international news, no foreign reporters crafting stories. The message was straightforward. This is our country and we must care for it ourselves. That message spread rapidly from bustling cities to quiet rural villages. People did not wait for instructions or funding. They grabbed brooms, shovels, wheelbarrows, gloves, and buckets, and they began working. Approximately 15,000 people across Burkina Faso joined in. Not because they were compelled, but because EY wanted to improve their home. This was not a one-day effort, but a 7-day movement called National Sanitation Week. People cleaned schools, markets, hospitals, roads, and neighborhoods. No foreign organizations led the effort. No one was paid with food or cash, and no soldiers enforced participation. It was entirely voluntary, spanning the entire nation. This story is grounded in reality, supported by trusted sources, official reports, and the lived experiences of those involved. It is not fiction or exaggeration, but a testament to a nation taking pride in itself. 4. Those who believe in an Africa that addresses its own challenges. This story is worth sharing to highlight the true spirit of Burkina Faso. The movement began with one man's simple idea. President Ibrahim Traoré did not deliver a grand televised speech or promise rewards. Could you imagine a nation where over 30,000 everyday citizens armed with nothing but brooms, wheelbarrows, and determination accomplished something truly remarkable? This wasn't a political protest or a fundraising campaign. It was a grassroots revolution that reshaped an entire country. This is the true story of Burkina Faso, one of Africa's most economically challenged nations, where people from all walks of life came together to clean their streets, schools, hospitals, and neighborhoods. And in doing so, they transformed their future. It's a story of national pride, unity, and people power, change sparked by a single powerful call to action from a bold young leader. Welcome to Africa Unchained, a platform that honors real people becoming real heroes through courage, commitment, and community. In October 2023, an unprecedented movement swept through Burkina Faso, a landlocked West African nation often overlooked in global news. Over 30,000 people, farmers, traders, teachers, students, parents, and even soldiers, paused their routines to join in a national effort to clean and revitalize their country. But this wasn't just about trash. It was about dignity, unity, and hope. The spark came from President Captain Ibrahim Traoré, whose heartfelt message was simple. Burkina Faso is ours. It's our duty to protect it, care for it, and help it thrive. These words resonated deeply. The response was overwhelming. Citizens from all backgrounds stepped up, not because they were ordered to, but because they wanted to. This wasn't a government program or a military initiative. It was a voluntary movement that captured the soul of a nation. Across cities, towns, and remote villages, people grabbed the simplest tools, brooms, rakes, gloves, garbage bags, and got to work. Streets once buried in waste were swept clean. Markets were refreshed. Hospitals gleamed. Schools shined. Forgotten public spaces came back to life. For 7 straight days, the sound of sweeping, shoveling, and laughter replaced the noise of daily life. Communities that had struggled for years with poor sanitation saw immediate results. Piles of trash that had blocked drains and polluted water were cleared. Alleys once filled with debris became walkable paths. Public squares turned into proud gathering places. But the real transformation wasn't just physical. It was emotional and cultural. Cleaning became an act of ownership. The pride, a bold statement. Burkina Faso belongs to its people. Health experts noted an immediate drop in sanitation-related illnesses like cholera and diarrhea. Clinics became safer, more hygienic spaces. In rural areas, many gained access to clean water sources that had been contaminated for years. Village elders, some with decades of memories, stood in awe. Many said they'd never seen their communities this clean or this united. This was never just about sanitation. It was about restoring faith, dignity, and shared responsibility. People realized they didn't need to wait for outside help. Change could come from within through their own hands, hearts, and willpower. One of the most powerful aspects of the movement was how inclusive it was. Women led from the front, organizing cleaning brigades in neighborhoods, markets, and public spaces. Their leadership reminded everyone just how essential women are to meaningful change. Youth brought energy and optimism, turning the cleanup into a vibrant youth movement. Soldiers, normally seen as defenders, joined hands with civilians, working side by side in solidarity. Teachers wove the effort into their lessons. Religious leaders called it a moral duty. Elders rallied their communities. Every citizen, no matter their age, gender, or status, had a role. So why does this matter? Because it showed what's possible when people take ownership of their future. It proved you don't need wealth or foreign aid to make progress. You need unity, leadership, and the will to act. As the movement grew, it caught the attention of neighboring countries like Ghana, Mali, and Niger. Visitors came to see the transformation firsthand. Development experts praised it as a model for community-driven change. International health officials described it as a scalable, low-cost blueprint for other nations. President Traoré didn't let the momentum stop. He announced a bold next step, a national cleanup day every month so the progress would continue and grow. This wasn't just a one-time campaign. It became part of Burkina Faso's national identity. Children wrote essays about their pride in cleaning their communities. Women sang songs celebrating the effort. Cultural groups created dances to honor the change. Religious leaders spoke of it as a sacred duty. This was more than a movement. It was a reawakening, a rediscovery of what it means to be a citizen. At the center of it all was Captain Ibrahim Traoré. His speeches stirred hearts. But more importantly, he showed up. He cleaned alongside farmers and students. He didn't lead from afar. He led from the front. His example lit a fire across the country. Leaders around the continent took note. Some admitted privately that their countries could learn from Burkina Faso. Development experts in Europe hailed it as one of the best examples of sustainable low-cost community action in recent history. UN officials highlighted it as a global model for civic engagement. What does this story tell us? That real change doesn't come from big budgets or foreign consultants. Comes when people believe in themselves. When they stop waiting for someone else and take action. Burkina Faso's sanitation revolution is proof that the simplest tools, a broom, a wheelbarrow, a rake, can become powerful instruments of transformation when guided by unity and purpose. Closing remarks, President Traoré said, "We may not have the riches of the world, but we have hands to work, hearts to care, and the hope to dream. That is enough to change our country." At Africa Unchained, we believe stories like this deserve to be shared because heroes aren't just in movies or history books. Sometimes they're the farmers, mothers, students, and elders who pick up a broom and change the future. What can we learn from Burkina Faso? That leadership matters, but the real power lies with the people. That small, consistent actions can build a better world. That national strength isn't measured in dollars, but in determination. And that change can start with you right where you are, in your neighborhood, your school, your community. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection, you just need to start. If the people of Burkina Faso can unite to transform their country with their bare hands, what can you do today to improve yours? Because real heroes don't wear capes. They carry brooms and they carry hope. If this story inspired you, like this video, share it, and subscribe to Africa Unchained. Let's keep celebrating the unsung heroes, and let's remind the world that true power lies in the hands of the people. Let's honor their legacy by taking action in our own lives, our own communities, and in our own way.